They talk about two-tier policing. Do they know that in the 2011 riots, 2,158 people were prosecuted and a total of 1,800 years were given in sentences to those people who were disproportionately working class and ethnic minorities? Stick that up your two-tier system. The way the British state is behaving today is not a new thing, and it's not an aberration of previous behaviour. In 2011, we saw 2 men go to jail for 4 years for Facebook posts. You even saw a man jailed for 16 months for taking an ice cream and having 1 lick. And student Nicholas Robinson was jailed for 6 months for stealing a bottle of water. Tommy Robinson posts frantically about the arresting of children. Do they know that half of those processed through the courts off the back of the 2011 riots were under the age of 20, and a quarter of them were children? Those strict prison sentences, which were overseen by the current Prime Minister Keir Starmer, have been found to have led to a cycle of re-offending and re-incarceration. The 2011 riots were based on something that happened. Mark Duggan was killed by the police. These riots were based on something that happened, but did not happen the way it was explained to people. In both cases, you have the disaffected and misdirected sent into the arms of the British prison system. What are some of the sentences that have been meted out by the British state during this period? A 20-year-old man made a post on Facebook which received 6 likes. He was jailed for 20 months. That's not to agree with what he posted on Facebook. But do you not see a commonality between those who are being harshly sentenced now with those in the 2011 riots who were so harshly sentenced then? And where were these claims of two-tier policing when climate activists were given 5 years in prison? It needs to be understood by all. These harsh sentences do not lead to a better world, not for the individual jailed or for the rest of our society. Two-tier policing is a myth. You are being lied to. You have more in common with those on both sides of this supposed tier than you have with the people jailing them now. When you compare what happened on the Palestine marches to what's happening today with the burning of hotels and attacking members of the public, on the Palestine protests, you saw a mother arrested with her children for holding a placard that contained a swear word. You saw a woman arrested for holding up a placard with coconuts on it.
I do not want to live in a country with Hamas supporters. I want them deported. I want them chucked out. Simple. And I will do everything I can to ensure that happens.
The same people that believe people should be criminalized on pro-Palestine anti-genocide marches and that Palestinian supporters should be chased out of public life are somehow able to portray themselves as champions of free speech. It's all a lie and an inversion of reality. Unfortunately, there has been a carefully crafted mythology of quote-unquote two-tier policing. The idea that white people in this country are discriminated against by law enforcement. Black people are 9 times more likely to be stopped and searched by the police. You are 154 times more likely to be stopped under Schedule 7 Terrorism Act if you are a person of Pakistani origin. Of the 500,000 people that have been stopped under the Schedule 7 Terrorism Act, 80% of them are ethnic minorities, despite only making up 13% of the population. And yes, it is absolutely unacceptable that you are seeing people go to jail for Facebook posts today. But this is not actually a new thing. Let me be clear. I support the rights of refugees, but I also oppose the sentencing of somebody for a tweet to 38 months in jail. And to those who are cheering it on, they have to remember the very same forms of authoritarianism being visited upon those who took part in these riots across 16 towns and cities will be used upon you. Ultimately, the way that this manufactured narrative is defeated is when it bumps up against reality. Just some days ago, a man stabbed an 11-year-old girl and a woman in her 30s in central London. Who was it that came to the rescue, risked his life to disarm the man and save countless others? Meet Abdullah.
I saw that he was stabbing a kid. I jumped on him, hold the hand in which he wasn't having a knife, and I just put him down on the floor and just hold him and kick the knife away from him. And then a couple of more people joined as well, and we just hold him until the police came. It took like maybe 3 to 4 minutes, police arrived, and they just stood with the custody. And the child, just like all my colleagues, they gave him first aid, and in the meanwhile, police came as well, and they just gave the first aid.
This smashes the myth of one target population within this country who are supposedly predisposed or have an inclination towards violence. If you look a little closer, you will find the opposite is true. We're all human beings. As you've seen, unfortunately, the mainstream media across the last decades have been a complete deluge of dehumanization and demonization of the most vulnerable in society. Today, you have an alternative in Double Down News, which is publishing information which goes against the grain. Please support them in any way you can by joining their Patreon now.